Howdy, y'all. You know what time it is. Let's do this. Howdy, y'all. Hi, Dingus McSwine, aka James, and Smokin' Ronnie. Hey, howdy. By the way, for those of you who are here early, don't worry. The reason why we're probably going to get banned is as simple as certain pictures. Oh, I don't know why these pictures might get a person banned, but let's say 20-ish years ago, this was actually slightly important. Let me see. Let me see if I can't find another one. Oh, look, right there. There's another one. How beautiful is that? And how impressively sad. Oh, but wait, I got another one. Oh, there we go. There's one of my favorites. Just think. A world full of misery happens, somewhere tomorrow. Early. Oh my God, early tomorrow. Now, most of y'all remember about what y'all were doing 20 years and 1 day ago. Howdy, Skip. Great to see you in, sir. For those of you who need a history lesson, y'all might want to tune in tomorrow when... Oh, look, I'm going to give y'all the preview of some of the things that are coming up tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah. Some of the things that are coming up 20 years ago today, tomorrow. Well, you know, James, there you have it. I can't sugarcoat this for anybody. If y'all think I'm happy about the way things went with a certain administration saying that they've got some sort of victorious pullout and yet people died and equipment got left over, yeah, pretty much not happened. Steph, I am sorry that you are back in Houston. Welcome to being stuck in traffic. Oh, I know, that's a little rough. That's a little rough. Steph, don't look at the pictures, sweetie. You won't like them. Yes, this program will probably be banned by YouTube because I am showing pictures that make people feel some kind of way. But with the fact that this is the anniversary of the last evening that the towers still stood, I'm going to say it just exactly the way I feel it. if they ban me, they can kiss my ass, because I'm going to be having a field day coming back and showing more of that shit that they never wanted to see. I guarantee you I'm that kind of guy. Alec Bradley, Black Market. Robusto. Because I got a feeling that's all the time I'm going to spend today. Oh, iced tea without the ice. I have a way of making iced tea so that I don't have to have ice to water it down. I like stronger tea, honestly. A lot of people don't really like tea, so they make weak tea and then they put a lot of ice in it to water it down. Then they dump a ton of sugar on top of it just to make sure it's sweet. Doesn't taste anything like tea. It tastes like Kool-Aid. I like iced tea. Grew up liking iced tea. Ooh, look at there. It pulled off cleanly. No broken cap, no broken jacket. Just a damn good cigar. Mark, howdy sir. Mark, I don't suggest you watching the first 3 or 4 minutes of this particular program, because photos like this that were displayed will probably end up just pissing you off. And if they do, I apologize about that, Mark. You know you are a very dear friend of mine. And oh, by the way, you got a shout out today from one Mr. Padre Piper, who wishes all of us God's peace and blessings, even though he is the one in dire need of all those peace and blessings. So if y'all get a chance, go check out Padre Piper's last live video. It's only about 5 minutes long. It's not going to be long. You're going to hear some bells. They made me kind of smile. You know, there's a lot of people here in the YTPC that need some help and some prayers. It goes a long way. If you're the praying type, send some well wishes to a lot of different people. You know what? Just start thinking about those people in real need and just pray for them if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, hey, I'm not asking you to do something you don't feel like. But, you know, these same people that you're not praying for will probably still be praying for you in your time of need. So, hey, hate me, love me, I don't care. Ah, not a problem. Didn't know his name was Randall. But yes, if you've been in touch with Padre, very, very cool. Very much enjoyed that. Not a problem, Mark. I know that what you're doing and how you set that thing up in record time, and that it's had people donating to it. That's a big blessing, and a whole bunch of Louisiana needs it right now. A lot of people don't even have a clue how much more they're going to need help. And in this situation, trust me, they might not know for months how much help they're going to need. It's ridiculous numbers. Trust me on that one, though. Boris the Piper, Huva Ilta Boris. I am so happy to see you here today. Such a wonderful day. 20 years ago, think back 20 years. Okay, everybody can think back about 20 years. If you are old enough to be on this program, unless you are just barely squeaking through and old enough to be on this program, you can probably remember what you were doing 20-ish years ago. Me, 20-ish years ago, about this time of day, I was getting off work at an electrical job that I had. Howdy, Mike. Glad to see you too. So this electrical job I had 20 years ago. Smoky Dan, howdy, sir. Good to see you as well. This electrical job I had 20 years ago, I was working on the build out for a Barnes and Noble. And if you happen to be looking at a map of Houston, look for Pasadena, find something called Fairmont Parkway and Beltway 8. Find the nearest Barnes & Noble to Fairmont Parkway and Beltway 8, and you will see exactly where I was. Mark, that is so very true, and I'm not sure anybody's going to thank you enough for doing it, but you deserve a lot of thanks, because there's a lot of people that, hey, they didn't think about it. They didn't think about it, but they will donate, especially with all of us trying to get people to help out, and that's just the truth. So there, Skip says he was poking holes in water, 3 knots to nowhere. I can understand that statement. Yeah. But yeah, so. Hi, hey Scott, how's it going? It's not really so much me, Mark. I just keep trying to spread the word. If I had a job, I'm pretty sure I would donate a little bit. Even if I just had a job that had just quit, I would at least be able to donate some time. But it's been a while. So, no, I can't do much other than try to help out by getting the word out. But so anyways, there I was, Beltway 8, Fairmont Parkway, inside of a thing that was called Barnes & Noble, though it wasn't anything at the time. It was just a strip center. And I went out at lunch to go get some lunch. And I'm going to say this. No, I'm saving that for tomorrow. I will save that for tomorrow. But yes, around this time of day, I was getting off work at a Barnes & Noble. Everything was nice and sunny. I remember that pretty well. Short drive home, drank a few beers, having a good time. Life was going on, no big deal. It was life as normal here in America. Things were looking up. Just was really good time to be alive here in America, at least as far as I'm concerned. 20 years ago. Now, 20 years ago in a day, everything changed. Tune in tomorrow, we'll talk about that. It's not lit well, but it's lit. Better. Good enough. So, yes, this being a Saturday coming up tomorrow, I'm planning on being up early. No specific reason other than I will be up early anyways. So if any of y'all would like to sit around and share some memories or whatever, you're welcome to show up tomorrow. I promise I will be here if the internet has not banned me for being some sort of anti-Muslim. And I'm not anti-Muslim. God damn it. I am anti-flying planes into buildings, especially in New York. But there's a big difference there. Quite honestly, Scott, God, I'm going to say probably about 7 o'clock in the morning my time, which is 8 o'clock in the morning ish, New York time. The times might be a little bit off, but I believe those time frames are fairly close to a certain working of what time frames things went to crap here in America. But yeah, so I will be fairly close to. Yeah. 3 hours behind you? No. Not from New York. There's one little sliver of Maine, I think, that is actually beyond the Eastern time zone. I might be wrong about that. But the Eastern time zone butts right up to Central. Actually, Austin's in Central also. It's El Paso that is over in Mountain time zone. Texas is a mighty big place. But we're not quite as big as like China. But hey, China's all on the same time zone, so whatever. But yes, I plan on being up during the time so that I can share some memories. Dad, I kind of figured out what you were saying. Luckily, I speak fluent Drunkenese. I speak fluent Drunkenese. In other words, I do not spell check anybody. Unless, of course, I'm just trying to poke a little bit of fun at you. I am not the grammar Gestapo, though. And I will misspell stuff all kind of different ways. Left, right, and sideways. In fact, it's so bad that sometimes spell check is just like, fuck it. You're on your own with this one. I can't figure it out either. Yeah. Rewind, delete, change the whole sentence structure so that it'll still make sense using other words that I do know how to spell. My lexicon is fantastic. My ability to spell most words is horrendous. Good luck. So, anyways, yes, I fully intend that if I do get banned, everybody knows why I got banned. I got banned because I said, hey, you know what? For those of you who want to remember that this is exactly 20 years before the world changed, this was the last day of freedom and happiness. Tomorrow is 20 years of... Holy crap, has it been 20 years already? Yes, 20 years. I am not all about my Friendswood. But I do live in Friendswood. You're pretty good there, Mark. But I thought A was E-H. Or A-Y-E. Though for those Navy guys, A-Y-E sounds more like something they say before sir. They just say it twice. Especially if they're talking to a captain. Go ahead. Skip's saying it in his head right now. Hey, that's okay, because Google Maps used to have a route from Texas to England, and it said something about swimming from Boston, Massachusetts to England. And then they took that down because I'm afraid somebody was probably an idiot enough to think that they could actually do it. So, Boris, hey, good memory. Bad memory, though. Yeah. Quite honestly, I'm going to tell you all the truth. Where I was working, we didn't have radios playing at all. Nobody knew it had happened. Work started at 7. Planes didn't hit until after that. The first one. So nobody knew it had happened. I went to lunch to hear something about a tower that had just started falling. Didn't really know what was going on. Cell phones and texting and all of that wasn't as up to date as it is now. We didn't have big screen TVs in our pocket. There were no tablets. Internet connected devices did not exist. So I'm hearing about this tower on the radio as I'm driving to lunch, and I'm freaking out because I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm tuning into a rock station, and I'm like, oh, it's like all news. Where the hell did the news come from? I changed the channel. Same exact crap. Every station I could find. Even Kakukukai, which was all Mexican, had a guy speaking in Spanish about what had happened in New York. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Seriously. Howdy, Paul. Great to see you, sir. So I drove over to a Radio Shack. And because batteries were kind of expensive, and I was going to have to buy a radio, I bought an actual wind-up radio that would play for about, let's call it 45 minutes at a reasonable sound level. And I told one of my helpers to keep it wound, wind it again every 15 minutes. And it would wind up, and it would work on a spring, kind of like some clocks and some watches. And I had this guy wind this radio every 15 minutes for the rest of the day. Two interesting things. One is where I was is right near a Texas Air National Guard Air Base. And while I was out there, I was noticing a lot of military flights coming out of Ellington. A lot of military flights coming out of Ellington. And that's slightly unusual in itself. Howdy, Steph. Great to see that you made it home. Howdy, Sharon. Glad to see that you are here as well. But in the area that I lived in, there was also another airport, Hobby, and you could see the flights out of Hobby on a regular basis. And I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to think this is weird. But it was very weird that when I was at lunch, I wasn't seeing any of these flights from Hobby. And I was right over a flight path, so that was very weird. So I kind of put two and two together that something major had happened. But I was only catching bits and pieces of what had happened on the news, because I guess everybody thought that everybody was already tuned in. But no, those of us who were working in in the construction industry, we were left in the dark. Nobody told us crap. We did not know. Nobody knew. We didn't know until lunch. And like I said, I brought back a wind-up radio. But I wanted to be sure that in case there was some sort of statement about more planes coming into the Houston Ship Channel, which is quite literally one of the largest oil refinery areas on the planet. And thankfully no terrorists were thinking about it, but they could have wiped America off the map just by taking out the Houston Ship Channel. But there's a lot of chemicals up there in the Ship Channel that I don't want to have to mess with. And if the alarm goes out for those places, a lot of times they will put it out on the radio so that, hey, you can stay indoors, or hey, you need to run far and as fast as you can get the hell out of here. So that's why I had my helper checking everything. And I'm just saying it, man. It got real weird and real scary. And that's the only story I'm actually going to share for right now. I will briefly share it again tomorrow. Skip, go outside and bring the Carter Hall, please. That message was brought to you by your better half. Let's say your better half. Men, we all know our women are our better halves. It's all there is to it. Scott didn't even know about it when the second one hit. Literally didn't know crap about anything that was going on until I went to lunch and they were already talking about the towers falling. I don't remember if it was the first tower or the second tower. I was still kind of bewildered and thinking, what in the heck's going on actually? I didn't see any of that until later that evening when they were showing it on the news, the nightly news. I mean, I always try to watch a nightly news, but normally it's so that I can see the weather, so I know what to prepare for the next day. It was very, very strange. I was maybe one of the last people in America to find out about it. Oh, Steph's got some story too. And I believe every person on the planet 20 years and 1 day ago had a story of something. Something. You'll remember what you were doing when you found out. You know where you were. I always thought it was weird when parents of mine said that they knew exactly where they were when they found out Kennedy had been shot. And I thought it was really, really strange when my grandparents would say that they knew exactly where they were on December 8th. Or no, sorry, December 7th, many years ago. I mean, yeah, I lived through the Challenger thing, and, you know, I was in a 5th grade class, but just like every single launch that NASA had for kids in the Houston area, we watched them, and quite honestly, I had gotten to the point where I was almost bored with them, and then it blew up. I will always remember that I was in a 5th grade class. But there is no way in hell I actually remember as much about that day as I do about 20 years and 1 day ago. I mean, like the world turned on its ear. Almost all the bad crap that you've seen in the last 20 years has been a result of that one instant. Crazy thing is, nowadays, there's kids that are old enough to drink that do not remember. They do not remember this. We'll never remember this. Not legitimately. Yeah, Scott, see, I guess that's probably what I'm saying there with the Challenger incident is that, I mean, I'm only a little bit older than you. I'm not trying to say that that is going to make that big of a difference, but what, 10 years old? I could not tell you what day Challenger blew up on. If you were to ask me point blank what day of the week, I don't have a clue. If you were to say, was it sunny? I don't know. But if you ask me about the Twin Towers, I can tell you, I could literally walk into that particular Barnes and Nobles and I could show you where on the floor the scissor lift I was rolling around in that day was throughout the whole day, and where I had my helper sit and wind up that damn radio. Come on, Chad, you're not that bad. I know you're not that bad. Scott, that's very true. There's people out there that are old enough to drink that do not remember anything about life before 9/11. Think about that. There's people out there old enough that it wouldn't be strange if they came home and said, "Hey Mom, my girlfriend's pregnant." And they don't remember the Twin Towers standing, much less anything about society before that day. It's crazy, isn't it? The world has become such a crazy, crazy place. And we get to live in the memory. For some of us, at least, I hope that it's a good memory. Oh, hey, by the way, roll call. What are you smoking and what are you smoking it in? I'm smoking an Alec Bradley Black Market Robusto. Smoking it in my mouth. No bowl. Just right. Actually, the reason I give a bowl call about now is so that I can make sure that the cigar is smoked well enough that it's going to stay lit for the rest of the time that I'm going to be sharing with you. Sorry, trade secrets. There you go. Chad, by the way, how is the weather in Smoky, California? Scott just finished a bowl of G&H Dark Plug. How is that, by the way? I've never had it. Haunted Bookshop in a Joby Compact. Very nice, Chad. Very nice. There is 2 other days except obvious Christmases or such are Chernobyl and an explosion in a military base about 2 miles from where I lived then. That was in '78. Honestly, I could not tell you anything about Chernobyl other than they had a reactor that got away from them and melted down. it's interesting what has transpired there since then. Ah, there you go, Mark. And of your own GBD with some Rat Rays Marlin Flake. Very nice, very nice. Very nice indeed. I believe Steph and Skip are probably chooching pretty happily on some Carter Hall, because that's what Steph called for. Skip tends to just go ahead and say, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. When Steph asks for the Carter Hall, he brings it. Got this feeling that tends to happen, unless of course they're out, and then he replies back that, sorry babe, we're out. Somebody dropped the ball in that case. Now, Scott, don't get me wrong, Chernobyl was a big topic. But if you asked the exact date that it happened, no clue. And I'm pretty good with history. 77, breezy, clear skies. All right, back to me. Thank you, Chad, for that update from the West Coast. I appreciate it, sir. That does mean that Chad will probably be going live here in about, well, let's just call it a little bit and be done with it. It is 1 minute from the 20, or actually 1 minute from the 40, so when it gets to the 40, 20 minutes left for him. Oh, they're now putting up a gazebo tent. Always nice to have a gazebo out. Just in time for fall in December. You know. Oh, Boris is about to pack his pipe, so he'll tell us in a minute, and he'll be right back. Steve and Miss Kathy, howdy, sir and ma'am. Great to see the both of y'all today. And I see Scott has the same issue as I do about fat fingering that shift key when you try to hit the A. I know exactly what you did there because the capital R gives it away. That's year. Except for it somehow registered shift R instead of AR. Happens to me all the time. Pisses me off. Oh, yes. Quite honestly, I don't remember what day, not the time of year, anything about the BP incident. And that was even more recent than... But yeah, I could tell you that 9/11, 20 years ago, was a Tuesday. Houston was clear skies. It was a great day. Started off awesome. The weather was not super hot. I mean, yeah, it got up to the 90s, but at least it wasn't at the hundreds. Hey, no problem, Steve. I appreciate you catching up with me. I guess you watched some of that video then. In case y'all missed it, hey, I've been up since about midnight because I had to crawl up in the attic. This is actually the fourth shirt today. I sweat through two. I put on one so I could sit out here and have a live chat when I was already feeling like worn out. And then I've been working around the house, did some other things, cleared up some other mess, took a shower, put on a fourth shirt today. Lord. And it's still hot enough I'll probably end up sweating through this one, but it's not so bad as that attic was. Nashville, hello. Hopefully John is having a better day, and that will continue for a while. I know that there's really no good day after what he's been experiencing. It's going to get rough. It'll get better eventually. By the way, anybody who is thinking about thoughts and prayers for people, keep John and his family in your thoughts and prayers. It might not mean much to him right now, but you know, death of a family member, that's bad enough. Bad enough. He doesn't need to have any more. Well, Willie, I'm glad that it was a good service. Yeah, I'm fairly sure she is devastated. So, news from the battlefront as far as COVID, because this is a very small neighborhood, very tight-knit group of people. We tend to know everybody in the neighborhood, especially the ones that get out and walk, because they all go past my house. They all know me. They all expect to hear howdy at least once or twice a day while they're out. There was an older gentleman about 5 houses down. Good physical shape. Real nice guy. Super nice. His wife ended up with dementia. And luckily they were both elderly. But he was taking care of her. And he walked religiously. And the neighbors, their dog would get out of the yard and come to his back door to make sure that he would take him for a walk. Marley and Bob would walk back and forth here in the neighborhood 2 or 3 times a day. I always watched out for him just because, well, he was an older guy. I mean, if he fell down, I'd make sure that I was watching until I couldn't see him down one way, and then I'd watch as he came back and watch until he couldn't go down the other way. Well, the neighbors right across the street, also good friends, also good people. Because he was the caretaker, they took him to the hospital so that, yes, Marley and Bob. It's kind of funny there, isn't it? But hey, that is what it was. Yes, Bob and Marley. Bob Marley, yes. Easy to remember. But they took him to the hospital to get his COVID shot on a Friday. On a Saturday, the very next day, he went back into the hospital. His health had declined rapidly. On Sunday, they pronounced him dead. Now, that was 2 weeks ago. Now some of their grandchildren have moved in to try and take care of the grandmother. Yes, she still has dementia. No, she doesn't really know who they are, and no, they're not able to get her out and walk with her the way he was able to get out and walk with her. So somebody says that those COVID shots are All good? Well, I'm going to tell you, not all of them are all good. And Boris is back, and his answer is, of course, St. Bruno Flake in a Savinelli 127. Yeah, so, you know what? With this whole Biden making the shot mandatory if you're going to work for the government or if your company is going to work for the government, you know what? Might be good time to break away from the government if that's the case. Because the government gave Big Pharma carte blanche to not get sued out the ass when people die. And there have been a number of people that have died, and I'm sorry, but that's just a statement of truth. Uh-oh, John and his wife are sick. That is not good. So, all right, another group of YTPCers we need to keep in our thoughts and prayers. Hopefully they get over this quick. John's already got enough health problems. He doesn't need some more. Ron, howdy, sir. Smoking SWR Aromatigan and HHG Levat. Oh, that you won from Lusitarius. Nice. Sorry, that's Lutrasaurus. I'm going to screw words up. Somebody get mad at me, go ahead. It's going to hurt my feeling. School bus. Yes, I said feeling, not feelings, but feeling. It's going to hurt all one of it. I only have one feeling. And somebody let Teddy Bear back out. Yay! Scott, unfortunately, if it is mandated by the government, it's only going to really affect people who are working for the government, unless their company decides they're going to follow suit. And look, if your company follows suit, you have to decide whether you want to stay with that company or if you're just going to go ahead and get the shot because you don't have any other options. My mother-in-law is not getting the shot. My wife is not getting the shot. They both get very sick every time they've ever had a flu shot. So we're not putting this one to the test. Me, I hardly ever get sick. When I do, I recover. But I'm not getting the shot and becoming sick so that they have to take care of me, because that might be a worse case scenario than if I had just not taken the shot anyways. Right, so as Mark just pointed out, the people who have taken the shot, they are basically now infected with it. There's no way to separate out at present with a simplified test if you have A, B, C, or D variant. Yes, people are going to get sick by this. Yes, it's going to kill people. Damn it. I'm not trying to say that it won't. But I still don't believe in giving Big Pharma the zero liability sticker and letting them roll with whatever they want to shoot into people. Hell, there was some talk that they want to shoot a little nano something or other into the skin so that it says, oh, you have had your virus shots. You know what that sounds like to me is a description of what happened in the Bible there in the book of Revelations about how they got rid of all money and everything else. Sounds a whole lot like communism. I don't know about y'all, but I was in the military. I don't really much care for any version of communism. Just is the way it is. Ron, I understand exactly. Not specifically a virus detection chip, Scott, but somebody was saying something. I don't remember the exact who was trying to get it to get passed, but they were saying something to the effect of basically a chip similar to an RFID chip, the same as what you would put in your pets if you think you might lose a pet, because they tend to be an outdoor, indoor, or if you do a lot of traveling with said pet. And that information could be loaded and downloaded and uploaded to that chip, so that you could basically walk in and wave your arm past a scanner and it would say bing, and then you were clear, or it would meh and you were not clear, depending upon what meds or various other information has been stacked into said chip. Me personally, if it's not a Frito-Lay product, I'm pretty sure I don't want that chip in my body. Though if it happens to be an HEB product that is similar to a Frito-Lay product, I will consume those also. Yes. So it's basically your med info chip, but they were talking about putting it in with the virus so that it could all be done at the same time. And I'm sorry, but I don't want a chip. I don't want something able to track me from space because I got this damn chip in my damn body. I don't want to make it easier on the government to keep track of me. They already have an easy enough time. You know what? I've got this damn cell phone right there. It's pretty much in my pocket 24/7. I'm betting, even though I've got most of the tracking things turned off on it, they've still got a pretty good clear picture of about where I'm at. How do I know? Because Google keeps asking me about places that were pretty close to something that I drove past or was somewhere near. Yes, they did do very well with the phones. And yes, you're right. They even got us to pay for it. Damn it. Except for those Obama phones. Oh wait, they got the rest of us to pay for it. Think those people on the government jobs and the government dole actually paid for it? No. They let John Q. taxpayer pay for it. Scott, I'm afraid that wrapping it in foil is just a good way to make sure to intensify the radio reception of it. It has something to do with electronics. To really neutralize that, you're going to have to build a Faraday cage. And most of us do not have the time or money to produce a reasonable functioning Faraday cage. They are fairly expensive to continue to run. Take my word for it, but you're going to have to put some electricity to it on a regular basis. Otherwise, yeah, it keeps sending out signals. Well, looky there, I am 2 minutes out. Chad, just in case you are thinking about going live, it's pretty close to time. We'll be looking for you here on the YouTube tablet. Mike, that is very true. Phones without batteries do not tend to continue to send the signals once the stored up in the capacitors on the inside has been outed. Yes, encasing your device in molten copper will actually work, Mark. You won't get your device back, but it will take out the ability for it to transmit. Here's a good question for you, and I'm going to give you the answer. What conducts electricity better than copper? There's actually only one known substance that conducts electricity better than copper. And that happens to be silver. And silver is not used because A, it is more expensive, and B, way more brittle. Actually, water, just H2O, neither component conducts electricity. Hydrogen does not conduct, and oxygen does not conduct. It is all the particles in the water that conduct the electricity. I have seen the proof. Oh yeah, Big Brother's always watching. And then look at all those people with Alexa. You think Google's not selling your information or Apple's not selling your information? Trust me, they're selling your information. They're making money hand over fist, and then they're making you buy the privilege to let them have even more control of more of your information. It is fact, not fiction. All right, so it is 5 o'clock. I am seeing that Chad is live. All right, so here we go. Sharon, it is a Black Market from Alec Bradley, and it is a Robusto. Happens to be my normal Friday smoke. Okay, so we're going to go over and visit with Chad for a while. Remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Let's do the best we can on that. And I'm running through this rather quick, so thank y'all all for being here. It is so nice to have y'all around. Steph, Skip, Sharon, Paul, Mark, Chad, Scott, Boris, Ron, Mark. I'm fairly certain I've missed a lot of names here. I'm just trying to get out of here so we can get Chad's. Okay, and of course, y'all remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you at Chad's house here in just a minute. Bye for now.